everyone. We're going to discover the last S in Savers, and that is today's reading. And after that, the vlog is mostly going to be on my thoughts about this process. It'll be probably now a week that, there are 6 letters, so that'll be a week essentially of doing the miracle morning. The first week is probably the toughest, at least according to the book. The second week gets easier, and after that it becomes more of a part of your daily routine and becomes less of a relying on your willpower as it just becomes an automatic thing, like driving a car or waking up at the current time you do in the present day. So that's the whole point of this, is you stick to it, you have discipline, and then once you are disciplined enough, it just becomes an automatic thing. You don't have to think about it. It's no longer this thing that you have to worry about tomorrow morning. It's just like, oh, get up and start your day. It just, it becomes, you can do it on autopilot almost in the future. So anyway, without further ado, let's go over the final S. We needed another word that means writing and started with an S to complete the Savers acronym. So thanks to the thesaurus, scribing is the final practice in the life savers. We encourage you not just to find time for silence, affirmations, visualizations, exercise, and reading, but also to write, and preferably in a journal. Journaling is essentially writing on your brain. One of the best ways to learn is to write. Journaling. By getting your thoughts out of your head and putting them in writing, you gain valuable insights. The scribing element of your miracle mornings enables you to document your insights, ideas, breakthroughs, realizations, successes, lessons learned, as well as any areas of opportunity and personal growth or improvement. It also allows you to prioritize your daily activities and reinforce your daily commitments in writing. Let me tell you my experience with journaling. Perhaps you can relate. While I had known about the profound benefits of journaling for years, I had even tried a few times. I never stuck with it consistently because it was never part of my daily routine. Usually I kept a journal by my bed, and when I get home late at night, 9 times out of 10 I would find myself making the excuse that I was too tired to write in it. My journals stayed mostly blank. And get this, even though I had already had mostly blank journals sitting on my bookshelf, every so often I would buy myself a brand new journal, a more expensive one, convincing myself that if I spent a significant amount of money on it, I would surely write in it. Seems like a decent story, right? Fortunately, my little strategy never worked, and for years I just accumulated more and more increasingly expensive and equally empty journals. Can anyone relate? A few yeses came through the phone. That was before Miracle Morning. From day one, the Miracle Morning gave me the time and structure to write my journal every day, and it quickly became one of my favorite hobbies. I can tell you now that journaling has become one of the most gratifying and fulfilling practices in my life. Not only do I derive the daily benefits of consciously directing my thoughts and putting them in writing, but even more powerful are those I have gained from reviewing my journals, from cover to cover, afterwards, especially at the end of the year. It is hard to put into words how overwhelmingly constructive the experience of going back and reviewing your journals can be, but I'll do my best. Looking back to propel forward. On December 31st, after my first year of doing the Miracle Morning and writing my journal, I began reading the first page I had written that year. Day by day, I started to review and relive my entire year. I was able to revisit my mindset from each day and gain a new perspective as to how much I had grown throughout the year. I re-examined my actions, activities, and progress, giving me a new appreciation for how much I had accomplished during the past 12 months. Most importantly, I recaptured the lessons I had learned, many of which I had forgotten over the course of the year. I also experienced a much deeper quality of gratitude on 2 different levels. I was now looking back at all the people, experiences, lessons, and accomplishments I took note of being grateful for throughout the year. As I was in that moment reliving the gratitude I felt in the past, I was simultaneously feeling grateful in the present moment for how far I had come since that time in my life. It was a remarkable experience and a bit surreal. I do this every year and still get this feeling. Then I began to tap into the highest point of value I would gain from reviewing my journals. I pulled out a blank sheet of paper, drew a line down the middle, and wrote 2 headings at the top: Lessons Learned and New Commitments. As I read through my hundreds of my journal entries, I found myself recapturing dozens of valuable lessons. This process of recapturing lessons learned and making new commitments to implement those lessons aided my personal growth and development more than almost anything. While there are many worthwhile benefits of keeping a daily journal, a few of which I've just described, here are a few more of my favorites. You gain clarity, capture ideas, review lessons learned, and document your progress. You've been writing in your journal, included in your fast start kit, since we started, so you've experienced the power of journaling. What are some insights or some interesting discoveries you found in writing? Hello, said someone on the line. Yes, go ahead. This is Emmett in LA, said a voice. I've been writing since day one, and I've noticed that being triggered by questions has helped a ton. While you were talking about reviewing what we wrote, I noticed I've written a little bit more each day. Great stuff, Emmett. Never feel constraints on your journal. You can write as much or as little as you wish. Some of you will use your journal as a catch-all for all your notes, ideas, affirmations, visualizations, and more. Some of you will just jot down about specific topics. We are here to encourage you to just develop the habit of journaling so you can find your inner scribe, so to speak. This daily record will help you with what can be a destructive mindset, something called gap focus. Gap focus, is it hurting or helping you? Another potential power of scribing and writing is dealing with something called gap focus. Rod introduced this concept to me, and I have to say it is right on, especially his take on high achievers. We tend to focus on all the gaps between where we are in life and where we want to be, between what we've accomplished and what we could have or want to accomplish, the gap between who we are and our idealistic version or vision of the person we believe we should be. The problem with this is that the constant gap focus can be detrimental to our confidence and self-image, causing us to feel like we don't have enough, we haven't accomplished enough, and that we're simply not good enough, or at least not as good as we should be. High achievers are typically the worst at this, constantly overlooking or minimizing their accomplishments, beating themselves up over every mistake and imperfection. They never feel like anything they do is quite good enough. The irony is that gap focus is a big part of the reason that high achievers are high achievers. Their insatiable desire to close the gap is what fuels the pursuit of excellence and constantly drives them to achieve. Gap focus can be healthy and productive if it comes from a positive, proactive perspective, without any feeling of lack. Unfortunately, it rarely does. The average person, even the average high achiever, tends to focus negatively on their gaps. Coffee break. The high achievers, those who are balanced and focused on achieving level 10 success in nearly every area of their lives, are exceedingly grateful for what they have. They regularly acknowledge themselves for what they've accomplished and are always at peace with where they are in their lives. It's the dual idea that I am doing the best I can at this moment, and at the same time, I can and will do better. This balanced self-assessment prevents that feeling of lack, of not being, not having, or not doing enough, while still allowing them to constantly strive to close a potential gap in each area. Does this make sense to everyone? Many on the call agreed, and then a soft voice said no. This is Travis from Michigan, said the voice. I'm a little confused. Can you give me an example of gap focus and how this works? Sure. Typically, when a day, week, month, or year ends and we're in gap focus mode, it's impossible to maintain an accurate assessment of ourselves and our progress. For example, if you had 10 things on your to-do list for the day, and even if you completed 6 of them, your gap focus causes you to feel like you didn't get everything done that you wanted to. The majority of people do dozens and even hundreds of things right during the day and a few things wrong. Guess which things people remember and replay in their minds over and over again. doesn't it make more sense to focus on the 100 things you did right? It sure is more enjoyable. What does this have to do with writing in a journal? Writing in a journal each day with a structured, strategic process, I will get to the structured here in a second, allows you to direct your focus to what you did accomplish, what you're grateful for, and what you're committed to doing better tomorrow. Thus, you more deeply enjoy your day, your journey each day. Feel good about any forward progress you make, and use a heightened level of clarity to accelerate your results. Does that make sense, Travis, and for everyone? Effective journaling. Here are 3 simple steps to get started with journaling or to improve your current journaling process. The process. Choose either a digital or hard copy format. Get the journal if you choose a hard copy and then simply decide what to write. Let's go into these 3 directions a little bit more thoroughly, and then you choose today what you'll do. You'll want to decide up front if you want to go with a traditional physical journal or digital, such as an online journal, journaling software, or journaling app. Having used both traditional and digital, there are advantages and disadvantages of both formats, but it really does come down to your personal preference. Do you prefer to write by hand, or would you rather type your daily journal entries? That should make a relatively simple decision for which format to use. Then, when it comes to traditional journaling, while just about everything can work, since you're probably going to have it for the rest of your life, there's something to be said about getting a nice, durable journal that you enjoy reviewing daily. Getting a journal that is not only lined but also dated with room to write for every day of the year, I've found that having a pre-designated or dated space to write helps keep me accountable to follow through each day, since I can't help but notice when I've missed a day or two because they're blank. This usually motivates me to go back and mentally review those days I missed and catch up on my journal entries. It's also so nice to have dated journals for every year, so you can easily go back and review any time in your life and experience those benefits. When it comes to a digital journal, there are many choices available. Again, it really comes down to your preferences and which features you want. Just type journal, online journal into Google or journal into the App Store, and you'll get a variety of choices. There are infinite aspects of your life that you can journal about, and countless types of journals: gratitude journals, dream journals, food journals, workout journals, and affirmation and appreciation journals. You can write about your goals, dreams, family, plans, commitments, lessons learned, and anything else that you feel like you need to focus on in your life. My journaling method varies. Sometimes it's very specific, a structured process. I journal about things like listening for what I'm grateful for. Listing what I'm grateful for. Let's cut that. There are infinite aspects of your life that you can journal about. The countless types of journals: gratitude journals, dream journals, food journals, workout journals, and affirmation and appreciation journals. You can write about your goals, dreams, plans, family, commitments, lessons learned, and anything else that you feel like you need to focus on in your life. My journaling method varies. Sometimes it is a very specific structured process. I journal about things like listing what I'm grateful for, acknowledging my accomplishments, and clarifying what areas I want to improve on, and planning on which specific actions I'm committed to taking to improve. There are times I do just a dated entry with a synopsis of my day. I find both to be valuable, and it's nice to mix it up. We've included the scribing pages on your 30-day challenge fast start kit. Please start writing your affirmations, and we'll cover more the rest of the week. Alright, there you go. The last S, journaling. I started doing it. It's a little hard for me to do. I've never been a journaler, so I definitely write my affirmations in there. That gets me started. And then anything else that comes into my head during the day, stuff that I need to do, that I did. And if you're not self-employed, maybe if you're working 9 to 5 and you can keep track of your thoughts, but I would approach the journal as a movie script that you're writing every day, one page. Because if you're at a low point in your life, wouldn't that make an awesome Hollywood movie? I mean, just think about it. Like, you come from the absolute worst despair in your life, and you build yourself up. Not only do you use the journal to keep track of what happened every day. I mean, can you imagine that? Oh, what an awesome script that would be. You would have it completely fleshed out. All the little things that add up to that one big thing. And on top of that, you can review it to see, oh my God, I've made so much progress. Like losing weight. Like losing weight is such a slow progress. Like a pound a week. Like if you're doing like a more stable diet, it doesn't seem like much. You know, 5 weeks later, you're like, oh, I'm down only 5 pounds. It's nothing. But you know, if you compare it to 3 months later, you know, that's 14, or 12 pounds. I mean, that's a big difference. So you have to think about things in time scales. Sometimes it's a day, sometimes it's a week, a month, or a year. So you can't just get down on yourself over like one day of progress or lack thereof. Think about it, you know, how much progress you're going to make in 12 months, which is a year. So just that incremental difference will add up substantially. It's just like compound interest. It will completely change the way you live your life, you see your life, just by making your day yourself 1% better. There's also a book called what is it called? The Slight Edge. Check that out if you're interested in that 1% difference. And I guess that's it for how to do your miracle morning. And now that you know everything, I hope you start to do it as well. And of course, I'll just link everything in this one, just in case you watched all the vlogs in one day and you're like, well, I don't want to go back to all the videos to find the right links. So I'll just put everything in this one. Okay, and what I haven't done so far is reading. And as you watched the last video, we're reading this book. And I hope that you did your online questionnaire to see which genius you are. And if you're wondering if that is tickling your fancy, come look at the next video. So I'm going to start right now reading this book, and the next video, part 2 of Millionaire Master Plan. So that's the second installment of this reading. Okay, see you next time.